So, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. My name is Alhagie Jallow. Of course, today was a Gambian day from Gambia. So, today, inshallah, our goal is to have a workshop about Salah, which is very important. It's part of the Sunnah of the Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam. One day, or after people prayed behind him so many times, he performed the Salah in front of the people. From the beginning to the end of the Salah, one rak'ah. And he said, Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, Sallu kama ra'aytumuni usalli. Pray as you see me pray. So he demonstrated the act of the Salah in front of them. And then he was saying it out loud so they can hear what he's saying. So learning it in books or in lectures is different when you practice it with a person. And I don't see many people doing that practice. We just learn it and we practice it. So today our goal is to practice how to pray. But first we are going to review or revisit our knowledge about the Salah, which we did with I think the New Muslim program. We talked about, I know it confused many people, but when you start practicing it, it will be easier by making the Salah or dividing the Salah into sections. Like we said, first you have conditions, then you have pillars, you have obligations, then you have sunnah. 4 sections of the Salah. The reason why we need to know these sections of the Salah or categories is some of them, if you miss them, you don't have to bring them. Some, when you miss them, you have to bring them. Some, you have the choice to bring them or not to bring them. That's important. So if you don't know exactly that this is a pillar or this is a condition or this is a sunnah, then even while you're praying, you might miss it and you don't know. All right? So you have to be able to identify when you have so many options in drinks or food, which flavor should I take? So that's the Salah. It's very important. So now let's try to see how much we know. So if I ask you a question today, now, this is a table. What is the condition of this table being able to stay here? The legs. He said the legs. What is the condition of this table being able to stay here, to stand? Did I hear that? She said the ground? Okay. And you said legs. And who else? So let's understand what a condition means. A condition means nothing can happen without that. Nothing can be built upon if that is not there. You cannot, nothing can exist without that. So now, the brother said the legs, right? We have the chair, we have the legs. But we do not have a floor. We don't have the floor. Can I enjoy the table like this? If I put it in a sink, and there will be no table, right? There will be no table. Then the legs are very important, but they are not the condition for this table to stand here. The legs can be something else, but it's not the condition. Then the condition is the ground, the floor that we have right now. The found, whatever you want to call it. But do you agree, do we all agree? That if we have a table, a complete setup table, we want to use it, and we don't have a floor to put it, it's going to be a table that we're going to carry. But we cannot put it on the ground. So the condition of this table to be here is the floor. Those are the conditions of the Salah. That means that you might have your Salah in your hands, but you cannot establish it because it cannot be identified as a Salah. So what are the conditions of the Salah? What are the conditions of the prayer? Good. I think I don't know. I didn't like it when I was a student, but now I like it. So I don't know it's good. So what are the conditions? Give me one condition of a salah. Takbir. Yes. So all these, they have to happen before you have the table. They have to be there before the table is here. Okay, before the table is here. So one of them is you have to be a Muslim, right? If you're a Muslim, if you're not a Muslim, you don't have a ground, and you have to be sane. So to understand the difference between being a Muslim as a condition and being sane as a condition is, if you are a Muslim but you are insane, your salah will not be called as a salah. You know why? Because if you don't do it also, you will not receive a sin. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has already accepted you to go to heavens. So there's no book for you. There's no records for you. That's it. The angels that are recording your books has folded the book and taken. So it's not for you to pray. If you pray, it's good. I don't want to say good, but if you pray, you pray. But praying and not praying is the same too, because you're going to go to Jannah. Right? So that's two. Being a Muslim, being sane, and being clean. Before being clean, they have something they call, it has something to do with the age. With the age. You have to be in a stage of puberty. And the reason why you can pray before that, but if you don't pray before that, there's no consequences. There's no sin for you. So, but there's another sunnah on a side that said, command your children to pray when they reach the age of 7. Command them to pray. The Prophet said, Muru awladakum bis salati wa hum abna sab'in. Command them to pray if they are 7. وَاضْرِبُوهُمْ بِهَا وَهُمْ أَبْنَاءَ عَشْرٍ. Who speaks Arabic here? Do you speak Arabic? You don't. You don't. I do. So, but darb, do you know what darb is? Darb. Darb is hitting. Yeah, darb. I just want to see how good it is or how bad it is. The translation. Yeah, it means hit them or smack them or punch them, or it's been recorded, so I'm trying to be careful about the wording. So, daraba means he hit. When Musa alayhi salam was crossing the sea, when he was chased by Fir'aun, Allah said, "Idrib bi'asaka al-bahr." Strike your stick on the sea. Right? So then it's just striking somebody with something, which can be easily translated, whip them, right? Easily. But it doesn't mean that. That's the reason why you cannot understand the deen being just having the understanding of the language. No. A linguistic person can come and try to explain, but they make a mistake. وَضْرِبُوهُمْ, he said, discipline them. Discipline. Discipline has different forms, right? You can tell them, okay, if you don't pray, you don't go to urban area, for example. Or you won't go to the masjid. Or you won't go to anywhere. It's a discipline. They will pray. Like my daughter, I said, if you don't recite this page, you will not go to the masjid. That's it. She will recite it right away. So discipline. So it takes something that will not make them happy if you take them away from them. And then what happens? You discipline them. So the Prophet ﷺ, he said, you discipline them if they reach the age of 10. So commanding is 7. And reinforcing the command is when they become 10. So they have to pray. And discipline, come on. You know, disciplining somebody in where I was being disciplined to pray, And disciplining somebody here in medicine is different. I am telling you, you don't know, I know the difference. Because I've seen people who should be disciplined the way I was disciplined, but you cannot. So then discipline them when they are in the age of 10. So now they have to pray. So now when they're under that, the reason why is because they're about to be in an age, if they don't pray, they're going to be sinful. They're going to be sinful. Now you want to prevent them from being sinful. Before they reach there, they are used to it already. Now they can start praying. So then you have to be in the age of al-mukallaf. Al-mukallaf, and take this term, you have to understand this term. Al-mukallaf is somebody who the Sharia, who Islam hold accountable. If they don't do it, they are sinful. That's a mukallaf. Under that, the person is required or is encouraged to do, but if they don't do it, they are not sinful. So that's al-mukallaf. Then the next one, a condition will be what? A condition. You said purity, right? You have to be pure. You have to be in a stage of purity, right? You have to have a wudu, and you have to free yourself from janaba, and which we'll talk about inshallah ta'ala. Like, from your understanding, who is considered in Islam as pure or unpure? Let's just put pure aside. Let's say clean. Who is clean and who is not clean? I'm going to make it so easy. Who is clean and who is not clean? Yeah, but yeah, you know, so for us as human beings, no, at some point, so that's why I want to avoid pure. I want to use clean, physical cleanliness or ritual cleanliness. After ablution, the person is considered as they are clean ritually. Right? Before ablution, they can be the cleanest, have the best cologne and have the best. But Islam says, Islam is not identifying you as unclean, but Islam is telling you that you are restricted not to do salah because you don't have a wudu. So if a person has a wudu, with all the conditions of the wudu, they are pure, and that purification leads or qualifies the person to pray, and that's a condition. Impure, yes. Good. 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 And that will simply lead me to categorizing impurity into two. One is major, where you need to call the ambulance, call maybe 911, because you need a lot of water. The other one you don't need. It's just so simple. And the one that is simple, you don't need anything, is you go to the bathroom. Number one, number two, you don't need that much water. Or passing gas, for example. Sorry, I have to say that right away or directly. These things will move you from being pure ritually to being impure ritually. Now, how to install that is to go and make a wudu simply. Right? So now these are minor impurities. Major impurity is what she said. Can you repeat that? So I'm not going to be just the troublemaker here. I want everybody to be a troublemaker. Major, intimate, menses, after childbirth. Yes. Yes. So, there are things there that I have to talk about, fortunately. So, when it comes to relationship between husband and wife, three things happen. And they call it in fiqh, mani, wadi, and mazi. Money is what the child is created from. That's ejaculation. That's money. Right away. with intercourse, without, you are in a major, you need 911 to take a shower right away. If you have intimate with your, with like between two, or you're by yourself, that's it. That has to, that is a reason for the person to be in that high level of impurity. Nothing but a shower if they have water. The other one is muddy, and which is al-wadi, which is maybe after ejaculation, for example, and then you make a wudu, for example, and you want to pray, and then something else drop. That is sort of urine. That's wadi. That does not require a shower. It has the same ruling of number one or number two. You just wash it and go make a wudu. But the wudu is broken. The other one is al-mazzi. Mazzi is, you know, before the intermezzi happen, that liquid that comes out. That is mazzi. That also is not a reason for the person to take a shower. Just wash the private area and then you're good. Make sense? So 3, money is the one that comes and something can be created out of it. The other 2, they happen after the ejaculation. The third one is before anything happened. Anything happened. Like, you know, if something is happening between a man and a woman, and whatever comes out, that's considered al-mazi. And there's a story behind this. There's a story behind this. A beautiful story. Who knows Ali? You know Ali? Radiallahu anh. Ali was the in-law to the Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam. Ali was married to the Prophet's daughter, Fatima. And Ali is saying, and it's in books, he said, Kuntu, is in Bukhari, he said, Kuntu rajul al-mazza. I was a person who has a lot of mazi. Like whenever I get close to my wife, I drop things. But it's not money. It's not sperm. He said, I felt shy to ask the Prophet, what should I do? He said, I sent some of the Sahaba. I said, go and ask the Prophet on behalf of me. Because I cannot, he's my father-in-law. I cannot be there and asking him these questions. Yeah. So the guy went and he said, oh, what is the ruling of this? He said, the person, the man has to just wash their private part and then they make a wudu and they can pray. And Ali was suffering because any time that happens, he has to go take a shower. So anytime you get close to your wife, you have to go take a shower. Actually, water wasn't available like this. So it become very tough. But the Prophet is next to him. They are next door to him. He said, I cannot ask. So the guy came to him and he said, you just do this. He said, Alhamdulillah, I was exhausted. So that is the ruling for that. So then 3 things. One is money. That had happened, intercourse happened, whatever the baby, the sperm, right? That is a reason for the person must take a shower in order to remove themselves from major impurity. But the 2, you don't have to go for major impurity. No. Yes. 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 So if, and the Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam, إِذَا الْتَقَى الْخِتَانَانِ فَقَدْ وَجَبَ الْغُسْلِ. The 2 male private and female private touch each other, then the 2 of them have to take a shower, a ritual bath. Now, good. Good. That's good. I will demonstrate it, inshallah. I will, I promise. So then we have impurity. And now you have purity. So we have being a Muslim, you have, that's the foundation. Now building the foundation to have the salah. You have to be a Muslim, you have to be sane, you have to be mature, you have to be pure. And the purity, we know exactly what it is. We're talking about somebody who's dirty, so we're talking about somebody can have dirt on their skin, but they're pure. Is when you release impurity, and these impurities are known. You go to the bathroom, number one is impurity. Number two is impurity. Right? So when you do that, then that's it. You are in a minor impurity. Passing gas is impurity. Then you have to install it. But these are ritual things. You cannot see the gas like running around, but you smell it. So then you have to take a wudu to reinstall that. Very simple. The major one is what the sister just said: intercourse, or ejaculation, or something like that, or woman if they're in menstruation, or personal bleeding. These are the only things that put the person in a major impurity, or death. But unfortunately, wash yourself after you die. So the obligation become upon the people to wash you. They have to ritually wash the person who's dead. That's very important to understand. So, and what? Another condition. So when we say purity, it's good. When we say purity is your body, your clothes, and the area that you pray. These three things. If your body is clean and your garment has impurity, you pray in it, your salah, you don't have the ground, you don't have the floor. And if your body is clean, your clothes is clean, and your prayer area is not clean, it's not complete. You don't have a floor, you don't have a ground. So three things. When we say purity, you have to be pure in your body, your clothes, and also the area of your salah. That's very important. The area of your salah. So, what is next? Now, your awrah has to be covered. What is awrah? Aisha, what is awrah? In general. Yes, I like that definition. Is something that no one should see in your body except the people who are close to you. Not friends, is your husband or wife or children or parents, aunts, the people that no matter what, they cannot be your husband or they cannot be your wife Islamically. Those are the people. And the awrah is divided into two: غليظة and خفيفة. A major awrah and a minor awrah. Major awrah is what anyone cannot see except between a husband and a wife. Even a mother cannot see in normal circumstances. Okay? That is your private part. The front and the back. No one should see that whatsoever except if your husband, your wife, if your wife, your husband, even your father, your mother should not see, your friend should not see that. That is a major awrah. The minor awrah is what the other people cannot see. Give 1 minute. Okay. No, he's taking he's a guest. Yeah. Yeah. He was taking the time. Yeah, not us. Or if I not ready first, I'm gonna slap them. Something. Can you pray? Are you praying? Can you pray back there? So I have a private meeting. Oh, is that you? How are you? MashaAllah. Insha'Allah. Subhanallah. Kids are growing so fast, MashaAllah. Uh-huh. What is it? Oh yeah, I know. The guy who took the picture. So they wanted to install this in their masjid. Yes, I know. He just came here for that. I'm watching. I'm really, yeah. You safe, Aisha. Inshallah. So, covering one awra. So, awra is what you should cover. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala doesn't want to see anything from you exposed while you're praying, except what He said you should expose. For men, from here, from your belly button, above or below your knees, are awra. Which means that you should not be going out, even if you don't have anything, something that will expose, with something will expose that. But if you are praying, if you are praying, you have to come from here all the way down to your, below your knees. And it has to cover this. Cover this. This for men. Some people come to you with a misconception or misunderstanding, thinking that when the Prophet ﷺ said, Awratul Rajul, the awra of a man is from min as-surrat ila rukbah, from belly button to below your knee, right? They think that people can pray with that. No. Because there is another hadith that said, Allah will not accept a prayer of a man who exposed their shoulder in their salah. So you have to go from here all the way below. How about women? What is their awra in salah? Face and hands. Yeah. So so there are two in Islamic women dress. We didn't have socks and all this, but they used to drop it where it covers the ground. So if you cannot do that, then you have socks, you're safe. You're safe. But I did not see anyone saying that if the feet expose, your salah will not be valid. But of course, it's part of the awra. It was not something they argued before, because the dress was known that when you put it on, it has a tail. So if your dress is dragging and has a tail, if you make a ruku or you make a sujood, nothing will expose. So from there, the ulama, they recommend wearing socks for women. What is authentically narrated is that face and hand, like from here to here, can be exposed. But other than that, you can find some argument about it. But my recommendation would be socks, alhamdulillah, are here, especially in the winter. Wear socks for the sisters. Yes. That is covering awra. The other one is, what is our next condition is, can you face towards Wisconsin Dells while you're praying? Where should you face? Where they call it Qibla. You have to face towards the Kaaba. That's a condition. If you say, okay, today I'm going to choose to face this way, and this is the Kaaba, your salah, you don't have a ground. Your salah will not be called as a salah. Not. And we have one more. We have one more. I'm not gonna help you with this. We have one more. Very good question. Very good question. How about if you don't know? Who's gonna help me to answer the question? Let's say, how about if you don't know? There are chairs there. You can sit anywhere. Let's say you don't know. Let's just say you don't know. Brother, can you please go out before I get upset? Thank you. So let's say, because now we try, there are means of trying to know. Let's say you have no mean, you don't know. We just want to say you don't know where the Qibla is. So now you're driving you are driving, or for some reason you don't know where the Qibla is. You depend on your phone, phone died, and you don't know the direction, and it happens easily. If you want to sit on a chair, you can sit on a chair. You can take a chair. I think it's more comfortable. If you don't know, let's say you don't know where the Qibla is, you cannot find out, and pray. You make intention and pray, because there is another evidence that is covering you. Allah says you face the Qibla. But if you don't know, فَأَيْنَمَا تُوَلُّوا in Quran Surah Al-Baqarah, wherever you face, Allah is there. So this if you don't know. So if you try and you don't know the Qibla, that's it. You pray. And if you find out later on that you face the wrong direction, you don't have to repeat that prayer. It's good. It's good. But you have to try to face the Qibla. So these are one more. Niyyah. Then two more. Intention. Because we can put intention in the pillar or in the conditions. So if you put them in the conditions, we have one more. Niyyah is intention. What is intention? You said it. What is intention? No. Yes. So you limit what you're about to do. And simply, you don't have to say it. Actually, saying niyyah is bad. Some will disagree, but it's bad. You will not find a language that says, let me tell you my intentions. Okay, now you're saying it. The intention is in the heart. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is one who's responsible to know what our intentions. So no one can judge anybody. No one can decide what is in a person's heart, and it's prohibited to try to find what is in a person's heart. So the intention should be in the heart, and ordering the intention is a bid'ah, it's an innovation. So it should stay in the person's heart. You wanna drink, you go to the buffet, for example. This is fish and this is lamb. When you are taking the lamb, that's your intention. Even though you not take the lamb and say, I intended to take fish, but it end up taking, it doesn't matter, right? So Allah wants you to limit what you're about to do. That's it. That's enough. You don't have to say it. So you come in to pray dhuhr, you stand, you remind yourself that I'm about to pray dhuhr. It's enough into your mind. That's the intention. Yeah, for the sake of Allah. Yes. So I will take that back a little bit, Aisha. So there are two things. There's ikhlas and there's a niyyah. Ikhlas is sincerity. To do the action for the sake of Allah. That's ikhlas. But niyyah is tahdid al-amal, is to limit the action. So there are two different things. Aisha. So there are two different things. Ikhlas is from the wudu to the salah. You have into your mind, I am only doing it for Allah. The niyyah is to limit the kind of the action, and that will determine the reward of the action. So you have to have one layer, which is ikhlas, and then niyyah. If you have ikhlas, you don't have a niyyah, that worship will not be accepted. You say, I really want to serve Allah for the sake of Allah to pray dhuhr, and you come and stand and you don't make a niyyah, then you don't have anything from that action, because you are mukhlis, but you did not limit the kind of action that you want to do. Make sense? You agree? Good. One more then. One more. Yeah, intention. One more. Praying on time. So simple. Why? I said this so many times in the halaq. Why did you memorize it? I know my memory is not very good, but I memorize them by repeating them a lot. So now to go quick, what are the conditions of the salah? What is the foundation? So what we said right now is the foundation of the salah. That's it. To be a Muslim, that's a foundation. to be sane, to be mature, to be pure, to help me. Cover your aura. 5. Facing the Qibla. 6. Pray on time. 7. Intention. 8. Yeah, when we say purity, it covers that. Yes. Can somebody just memorize it for the sake of Allah? Yeah. Can somebody say it by themselves? Try. Yeah. The conditions of the salah. How would you try? I said, to be a Muslim. Maybe if I raise my voice, it's going to stay in your mind. To be a Muslim. To be sane. To be mature. Put those one somewhere in your mind. 3. 3 down, right? They're close to each other. Muslim. Yes. Sane and mature. That's it. 3. Okay. Let's take another 3. Let's take another 3. Now, take purity. Another one. Covering your aura. Covering your privacy. And face the Qibla. Another 3, somewhere in the mind. You have 6. Facing. Okay. Now we have 3 more left, right? 2 more. Okay. Intentions and correct timing. That's it. We haven't missing 3 then. Okay, now we got it. Can we test each other? Can you test him? Can you test him? Can you test him? The conditions. Yes. 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 You have 3 more. Intention, yes. You get them all? Okay, go ahead. To be a Muslim. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Qibla. Qibla, just face is good. At a time. You know, I have a lot of money today. You know where I get this money from? You know where I get this money from? Aisha, maybe you know where to get this money from, right? Huh? Downstairs. It was business downstairs. So, I think you deserve $10. I get it for free, easy money. I'm going to give it to you easy. So, this money was given to me because I was making some jokes in the nikah. So you get a $20. But you have to answer more to secure this $20. Yes. Good. No, we just. Oh yeah. He wanted the recording though. I don't know. Good. I'm sorry, but I think we don't need the mic. Okay, makes sense now. Okay, better, better. He's there sacrificing, mashallah, jazakallah khair. Good. So now we have all the conditions. Brothers and sisters, if you don't know the conditions, sorry, your salah is going to be always, you're going to be always struggling in the salah. Always struggling in the salah. So you know this one, now you have the ground. Now, after you have the ground, he said the reason why this can stand here was the pillars, right? Unfortunately, we have, I think, 8 conditions, but we have 14 pillars. But it's easy. 14 pillars, and they are very easy. I will demonstrate, and you will see the pillars. And I'm not going to say anything, but I'm going to put some signs for you to count the pillars while I'm demonstrating. Okay? One is going, I'm just going to say one. One is standing. Standing is a pillar. If you are able to stand, you have to stand in prayers. If you don't stand in prayer, your prayer will not be valid. But it's only applying into the 5 daily prayers. The other prayers, you can choose to sit or you can choose to stand. But if you choose to sit and nothing happens to you, you're having half of the reward of the standing people. I think it's fair. It's fair, right? So I stand, you don't stand. And you have no excuse. I get 100, you get a 50. Yeah, and that's fair. That's exactly how it is. But it applies only in the voluntary prayers. But the 5 daily prayers, you have to stand. It's a pillar for you to stand. So now we're trying to stand to make the salah to stand up. Then we decorate the salah, but to stand up. One is standing. I'm going to say anything. Then I'm going to ask you. But anyone that is very important, I'm going to say it out loud. But I'm going to point at going in there. So standing is one. Allahu Akbar. When you come to the salah, people raise their hands. Don't worry about raising your hands. Okay? I'm going to avoid anything to the pillar. Allahu Akbar. Don't worry about this. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim. Maliki Yawmiddin. إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين الله أكبر. This position means a lot. سمع الله لمن حمده. Don't worry about what I say. Saying. So one, I say Allahu Akbar, I'm bowing. This is a position. It's a station. From bowing to standing. So from here to here is a pillar. Bowing is a pillar by itself. Rising is a pillar. Yes. So we avoid those ones. So bowing is a pillar. Rising is a pillar. And standing straight is a pillar. 2 close different pillars. So you bow is a pillar. So just imagine while you're praying, the transition that you do, those are pillars. Now, while you're rising, it's a pillar. You stand straight, is a pillar. You have to stand straight. What is the minimum of standing straight? Yeah, you cannot lean. You have to stand straight. The Prophet said, huh? That's good, but what is the minimum time that you need to stand here? We have to know it. What is the minimum? Rabbana walakal hamd. You have to be able at least to say Rabbana walakal hamd. That's the minimum. That's the minimum that you stand. But if you do this, You can never miss rising. You can always have it. But it's easy to miss the pillar of standing straight. Some people do this, Allahu Akbar, Sami Allahu liman hamid, and they go back again. So they're missing a whole entire pillar. So you have to rise. I don't care how fast you are rising, but I care how much time you spend when you stand. Because that pillar start counting when you stand. And the minimum time you need is to say, Rabbana wa lakal hamd. There are so many things you can do, Rabbana wa lakal hamd, hamdan kathiran, but the minimum time you need to stand is Rabbana wa lakal hamd. You have to. If you don't have that minimum time, you have missed a pillar. And if you miss a pillar intentionally, your salah will not be valid at all. Okay? So how many pillars do we have? Okay? How many? 6. Out of 14 is done. Okay? Can you repeat them? Can you repeat them? Stand up straight. Takbir, Allahu Akbar. Fatiha, Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Bow, ruku'. Stand up, rising, rising, rising is a pillar. And then straight is a pillar. 6. If anyone misses this, I think I'm going to discharge you from the class. It's so easy, right? Standing straight. You want to pray, stand straight. And then you say Allahu Akbar. Don't worry about raising your hands. You say Allahu Akbar is a pillar. Reciting Fatiha is a pillar. Bowing is a pillar. Ruku'. Rising is a pillar. Standing straight is a pillar. 6 pillars. It's good. Let's go to the 7th. The 7th will be sujood, prostrating. How do you go for the prostration? We have to argue in order to understand what is the proper way, the correct way on to go for sujood. How do you go for sujood? No, how do you go to the sujood? Yes. Yeah, when you make a sujood, that's something. But how do you reach to the sujood? Now. Yes, how do you fly to the sujood? No, I will tell me what you do, not what I do. What do you do? This is what you do. You do this, right? And then you put your hands. I want to tell you what you do. I want to challenge your salah first. So now you are up straight from the ruku'. We're all up straight. How would you reach to your sujood? How many sujood you made? A lot of them, right? So how do you go for your sujood? So you say Allahu Akbar, which is good, but how, like, so let's practically do it. So one way is you can just drop. It's not safe, right? It's safe, right? Or you can go like this, and then you can go, right? It's possible. It's a possibility, right? Or you can just go right, and then your hand, and then you go to your right. Or you can go, you're straight. You can go like this, right? And the other possibility also, you can do like this, right? You can do this. Too many ways of doing it. Yes. So we know the right way. That's why we're here. I'm tired. I'm in the gym. What is the right way? So you ought to make a sujood. Just make a sujood like in the Maghrib. How did you make a sujood? Which one? Knees first. This one. And then hands. And then face, right? Okay, who agreed? You agree. Who else agreed? You agree, right? So, sorry, baby. Sorry. So, huh? No, we can't move on. There's a work. We have to make all the details. So now, which one is correct? The Prophet said, Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, لا يبركن أحدكم في الصلاة كما يبرك البعير. None of you should go to sujood the way the camel goes down. Yes, the way the camel goes down to the ground. Don't do that. Hmm? Camel goes to the knees first, right? He said, don't. Hmm? So, hands first. Actually, I'm from Gambia. We don't have camels. I'm not familiar with camels. And you're from Wisconsin, right? You're not familiar with camels also. Maybe Somalis, they have camels. But they're from the city. All this, maybe they're from the city. They never dealt with camels. You have camels? Okay. So now how do camels go down? With the hands or with the knees? Huh? Front one first. You see? They are from the same place, the same camels, but they're disputing. You see? They cannot agree. For that reason, we cannot agree on this. They call it, which is allowed. Al-ikhtilaf fi fahm al-lafz, which is differences in having different understanding of a statement, which is okay. So that gives us a room. To have two ways of going for the sujood. And both are authentic. Number one, you can go knees first. And then you can go. Number two, you can go hands first, then knees. Both are correct. Then we come to people with special needs. This is people without special needs. You go with your hands only, or you go with your knees first only. If you are like all of us, alhamdulillah, ala sihha. But if you have special needs, you want to go like this, I don't care. You want to do like this, I don't care. You hold this, I don't care. Because you are exempted from following this rule in the salah. It's beautiful. So then we have two correct ways. Go with your knees or go with your hands. And it's beautiful. Unfortunately, people who are slim like the brother, I think the knees is like, maybe the hand is easier maybe. But people with, I think if you want to go with your hands like this, it's going to be difficult. So you just better drop yourself like this. So it's easy. So then, that is a pillar. The process from here all the way to going to sujood itself is a pillar. That is a pillar. And now how many pillars do we have? 7 pillars. Now when you sit, now what is, because of sujood also has to be done right. What are the part of the body that must touch the ground in order for the sujood to be complete? Forehead and nose, hands, knees, and toes, right? It's 7. It's 7. The Prophet, he said, نحن معاشر الأنبياء, we as prophets, he's referring to him and the other prophets, he said, أمرنا, we were commanded, أن نسجد على 7 أعضاء, we were commanded to make a sujood upon 5 parts of our body. Right? So if you make a sujood, forehead is 1, it has touched the ground. Nose 1 has touched the ground. How about the hands? Do they have to be this way or this way? This way. Closed. Closed. Yes. So the hand has to be closed. How about the toes? Your toe. Okay, I'm going to give you two ways. This is one way. Or this. Or this. So which one is correct? The one that the feet are like this. I'll tell you, 80% of the masjid, they will open their legs like this. But men and women, they have to close. In this case, they have to be upon the ground and they have to be closed. No, it's easy. They have to be like this. Let me show you. It has to be like this. No, I think it's the easiest thing to do. So that if you don't have special needs, this is how you're supposed to be doing it. If you have special needs, the rule doesn't apply on you. That's a trick. If your leg is hurting, know that that rule doesn't apply on me. But you cannot make your leg to hurt while you just at that time. It has to be real, right? So then, how many? What is 8, right? Or 7? 7. So we're on 7. I've got to going to 8. So sitting back. So now we know that you have to your hands have to be like this in the salah. They have to be like this. So these ones, they have to face the qibla. They have to face the qibla. And this one, they have to face each other. But where? Does it have to be this way? Or this way? Or here? So you have the option from here to here is good. From here, like anything past here, all the way to here is good. Below that is wrong. Beyond that is wrong. But here, men, you are commanded to open up. Women, you are commanded to close. All these are sunnah though, but we're just talking about the proper sujood. The proper sujood. Now you sit back up. You sit back up from the sujood. Now you make a sujood, finish, you come back up. How should you sit? When you make a sujood, you come back up. This is how you have to sit on this one. And this one has to be on the ground like this. This is the proper way if you don't have any special need or any pain. Yes, this is how you have to be sitting. Huh? Is it difficult to sit this way? Is it difficult to sit that way? Yeah, is it difficult? Okay. Now, this is when you make a sujood, you have to sit on this first. You have to sit on this. This is how you have this is what you're supposed to sit. So you have this area have to sit on this. Your left foot, right? And then this one has to be established this way. The The wrong way, that is wrong, is makruh, is unlawful, is to do this. This is totally wrong. Or to do this is totally wrong. These are wrong. So this way is to sit like this. And this is in between the two sujoods. Like now you have one sujood, which is the eighth pillar. You sit from the sujood, you sit down. Why don't you say something? Now. At the end, no, the end, which I cannot do, I used to do it, the end is this way. This is the end. So for me, if I do this, I have to support myself. I cannot. Use my leg. But this is the right way at the end of the salah. This is the way at the end of the salah. So any sitting before the end of the salah is like this. And at the end, before you say Assalamu alaikum, the last tahiyyah, you sit this way. That if you are able to do it. Okay? Huh? Yes, yes. So all the sittings is going to be this way, except the last sitting. That one, you move here. So now instead of sitting on top of this, you put one here and you sit on it. Yes, that's the last sitting. Like, that is, yes. So now you make a sujood. So you have the sujood like this. And you come back. Another thing that people don't, now you have this one. So this sitting will be throughout the salah, throughout the sittings of the salah, except the last sitting. But now the other thing is, when you sit, where your hand should be. This is also a problem. Now you're sitting. Your hands can be here. Your hands can be, where your hand should be. Your hand should be holding your knees. Your hand should be holding your knees. No, you cannot put it here. People do it, but it's not the proper way. So you have to hold your knees. If you are making tahiyyah, which we will talk about, if you're making tahiyyah, you hold this, and then now you can put it on top of here. Yes, that one if you're making tahiyyah. We'll come to that, but you have to hold your knees. You have to hold them, okay? Now, that is eighth, right? That's eighth. Ninth is, you're tired already. Ninth is what? Now we have completed almost one rak'ah. Sitting from the sujood. That's a good thing. Because when you look at it, when you look at it, the ruku', I don't know how they made this. How when you rise from the ruku', is pillar, right? Straight is a pillar, right? But this one is only, all of it is counted one. Rising and sitting is one. Yes. Makes it easy though, at least one minus. Right? So which is very, I asked this question. Now you make your ruku', right? You rising is a pillar. Standing straight is a pillar. But the sujood, you make a sujood, you rise, all of it is one pillar. Until you go down again. This is eighth. This is eighth. Yes, sitting, eighth. Yes. Now we have eighth. The other two, they are irrelevant, I think. The other two is putting the pillars in order. You gotta wait, I have to go to work. Alaikum assalam. I'll see you, inshallah. Okay. I don't want my money to go, but anyone who answers a complicated question will take it. Now, we have 8. 9 is putting the pillars together. And somebody might say, wow, but can you start the salah with, okay, I want to pray, Allahu Akbar. And then you go back up and recite Fatiha. It has to be in order, right? So that is a pillar. If you miss the order of the salah, your salah is not going to be valid. I'm going to ask you one question now. If you miss dhuhr, you miss dhuhr, you came to the masjid, you want to make up your salah after asr, which salah should you make up first? Huh? Asr. Wrong. No one is going to get my $20 then. Yeah, the time of Asr or Asr pass. Either ways. You miss Dhuhr. Yes, let's say. Yes. Now, I'm going to make it more complicated now. You miss Dhuhr, Asr, Maghrib. Sunnah? Huh? No, now you owe me. And then you want to give charity? No, you owe me. You owe Allah money. And then you try to be generous, pay your loan first. But how do you gonna pray? You miss Dhuhr, you miss Asr, you miss Maghrib. Now you miss Maghrib after Maghrib pass. Now you're here to make up 3 prayers. Which, if you just, I was referring to putting the salah itself in order. That applies also in putting all the 5 daily prayers in order in any circumstance. They have to be in order. You missed the whole day. Like you slept like 12 hours, for example. You missed all the salawat. Now you woke up Isha, last prayer. Now you have to make up 5 daily prayers. Which one should you start? Huh? Pray in order. Pray in order. But so yeah, putting in order. That's 10th pillar. 9th. Yeah, I know. There's a misconception back there. The brothers had to. They said, you are missing. If you want to make up, Asr is gonna go already. This. Yes, but this is for somebody who already prayed Asr. For you, it's not after Asr yet. If it is Asr, yes, all the time. What you gonna pray? Nope, wrong. Nope, wrong. And actually, you guys should be asking questions. You back there. Okay. So, but I'm gonna give you this as a no more questions from you guys. Okay. What I said, putting the salah, putting the actions in order, the same thing applies on the 5 daily prayers. You pray them in order, whether you miss them, making them up, or you praying them on time, regardless. They have to stay in order. Because the Prophet said, La salata ala salah. Salah will not be valid if it is put upon a different salah, if you miss up the order. Now. Nope. And the Imam is leading. You join the Imam. Nope. With the intention of whatever salah The first one you missed. Yes, when the Imam says Assalamu alaikum, you stand and bring one more rak'ah. And if the Imam, yes, yes, always the Salah has to be in order. Always. If you come to the masjid and the Imam is praying Asr and you missed Dhuhr, you join the Imam, but you both are praying different prayers. Your intention is Dhuhr and the Imam intention is Asr. Yes, you have to join the Jama'ah. I think 1 week they should pray all the prayers in order to go back, come back. A month. So I will not give a specific time frame, but the ulama they said if you miss so many prayers that you will not remember, at that time you are not considered a Muslim. So you just have to come back and repent and start all over. Yes. And they have to repent first and then join the Maghrib as Maghrib if they miss so many prayers. Now, no, 1 week I think they should pray. 1 week they should pray all of it. Yes. No, yeah, that's so. The prayer, the acceptance of the prayer is in the hands of Allah. But, okay, hold on. You have to focus. The acceptance of the prayer is in the hands of Allah. But our responsibility is to make, on the day of judgment, you will have a book. Friday 24th, check. Dhuhr, check. Asr, Isha, it will come a check. It's checked by the angels. But was it accepted? It's only Allah. So, but if you have that day unchecked, then the angels will you go on the side for the bigger accountability. Now, yes. So, if a person is praying Sunnah prayers on the day of judgment, let's say they have short few prayers. So the reward of the Sunnah prayers will be accumulated and then see if they reach to a level of being able to cover the gap of the 5 daily prayers. But if the 5 daily prayers are not fixed on the day of judgment, even if it is a little, the person will be punished on the day of judgment. Except if they have enough Sunnah prayer that can cover that. Now, and as a hadith of Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam, the first thing that will be asked is the salah. If it is good, it will be good. If it is not, and then it will not be good. So now that's number 9. Number 9th, right? So 10th is, we said, tranquility. Tranquility. Being calm in the salah. And that means that, sisters, you're going to be quiet or I am going to ask you peaceful to live. Okay. Now, we have 10th, right? 11th is being calm in the salah. There is just a minimum time of being calm in the salah. Like let's say, if you go for ruku', you can't just go like that, right? So if you go for ruku', you have to stay there minimum. How much time do you need to fulfill calmness in the salah? Is to have enough time to say what is required in that position. Like let's say you stand from the ruku' straight. The minimum time is Rabbana wa lakal hamd. You go to the sujood. The minimum time is to say Subhana Rabbil A'la. Right? You be in the tahiyyah. The minimum time is to say the tahiyyah, right? So the minimum time is to give enough time to say what is required to be said in that position. That is a pillar. If a person is not fulfilling the minimum time in their salah, in their transition of the salah, their salah will not be valid because they're missing a pillar of the salah. That is number 11, right? 11. Tranquility here. 10. Tranquility is 10, right? So now we go to the last tashahud. Now we have two tashahud. Tashahud is you pray 2 raka'ah, you sit and you do this, right? Tashahud, right? That's tashahud. The first one, disregard that one. But the last one where you're going to make a salam, that is a pillar. Sitting is a pillar and saying the tashahud is a pillar, which is at-tahiyyatu lillah was-salawatu wat-tayyibat assalamu alayka ayyuhan nabiyyu wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. To the end of it is a pillar. So two pillars. Saying it and sitting while saying it. They are both two pillars. So you cannot say it in any different position rather except when you sit. So that's a pillar. So we have 10 and 11, right? 11, 12. 13 is Salat ala Nabi, saying Allahumma salli ala Muhammad. At least Allahumma salli, oh Allah, send your praise upon Prophet Muhammad. After finishing the tahiyyah, after finishing tahiyyah, minimum to fulfill the pillar is to say Allahumma salli ala Muhammad. That is only needed. Anything more than that is a sunnah. Like saying Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala ali Muhammad kama sallaita ala Ibrahim wa ala ali Ibrahim, all that is a sunnah. But if we say Allahumma salli ala Muhammad, that's a pillar. So each one of us must say Allahumma salli ala Muhammad to complete that pillar. That's 13. I'm going to ask her. What is her name? Rumaisa. How do you end the salah? What do you say when you do this? She said, what? How do you greet? How do you greet people in Islam? Assalamu. Assalamu alaikum. That's the 14th one. Thank you. Assalamu alaikum on your right side, or just assalamu alaikum. Not right side or left side, just assalamu alaikum. That is the 14th pillar. The 14th pillar. It doesn't have to be on the right side. The pillar is just saying assalamu alaikum. Right side is a sunnah. Yeah. Moving on the right side is, so if somebody says assalamu alaikum, not moving, that's it, they have completed the pillar. Yes, that's a pillar. So there are 14 pillars of the salah. And let's go quick because we run out of time. 8 wajibat. So now we have the pillars, which are this one are holding the salah. Now the 8 pillars, 8 wajibat are, you have this table, you have all these things, so we can put things here. Now you have the skeleton of the salah. Now we need to make the salah to be a salah complete, which are the 8 wajibat. Very easy. 8. 8. They call them 8 obligations. 8 obligations. Number 1 is all the Allahu Akbar in the salah. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, except the first one. Because the first one is a pillar. The first one is a pillar. You good? Good. So all the Allahu Akbar, like when you go for ruku', Allahu Akbar. When you go for sujood, Allahu Akbar. When you rise from the sujood, Allahu Akbar. When you go back, Allahu Akbar. So all those ones, they are obligations. And then saying Subhana Rabbiyal Azim. When you bow, you say Subhana Rabbiyal Azim. That is a wajib, it's an obligation. When you rise, or while you are rising, which is, everybody makes a mistake. When you say Allahu Akbar, Subhana Rabbiyal Azim, you're done. You want to rise, as soon as you leave the ruku' place, You have to say Sami Allahu liman hamidah. And that has to finish before you stand straight. Because when you stand straight, there is another thing to say in that. So when you say Sami Allahu liman hamidah, it's done. Now you straight. It's hard to put everybody in the same speed. It's hard. Oh, they delay. Go to the. That's a mistake because there's some in Arabic. There's something called fa fujaiya. Fa is do it immediately. When you hear the Imam say Sami Allahu liman hamidah, you have to go. So you don't wait to complete. Some of them, what happens is they still performing something. They wanted to finish it to catch up with the Imam again. No. When the Imam rise or move from his station to it, you have to move it. You have to move with the Imam right away. No. Yes, you have to follow the Imam immediately. So following and being together is different. So when he does it, you do it immediately. It has to be done right away after Imam does it. So you delay, if you delay, and this is the consequences, if you delay till the Imam move from that pillar to another pillar while you are in the previous pillar, your salah will be invalid. Yes. Yes, that invalidates one's salah. Yes, that invalidates the salah. We should remind them that they have to follow the Imam right away. And then we said, saying Sami Allahu liman hamidah is a pillar, is a obligation. And when you stand straight, you say Rabbana wa lakal hamd is an obligation. When you go for sujood, you say Subhana Rabbi al-A'la. That is an obligation. Subhana Rabbi al-A'la while you're on the sujood. How many we have? Number 5. So, all the Allahu Akbar other than the first one. Subhana Rabbi al-Azim. Sami Allah liman hamidah. Rabbana wa lakal hamd. Subhana Rabbi al-A'la in the sujood. We have 5. Very easy. 5. When you sit between the sujood, what do you say? Rabbi ghfirli. It's an obligation. Rabbi ghfirli. It's an obligation. And 7 and 8 is the first tahiyyah and sitting for the tahiyyah. The first tahiyyah in the salat that has 3 raka'at or 4 raka'at. Dhuhr, Asr and Maghrib. The first sitting after completing the 2 raka'ah, that sitting is an obligation. Saying that tashahhud is an obligation. These are the 8 obligations of the salah. Now, I'm going to demonstrate. I'm going to do the actions so everybody's seeing the actions, okay? Yeah, so they call it jalsa istiraha. It's a sunnah, yeah. It's a sunnah. It's not obligation to salah. It's a sunnah. They call it jalsa istiraha. So now, we're about to pray. I will include the sunnah, the wajibat, and everything the way the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam prayed. You will only find a potential differences, and we explain that in choices, is how to go or the way going to the prostration. I might choose to put my knees first or my hands first. For me, I do both. I do both. So both are authentic. So this one, you're going to see a difference a little bit. And you will find another difference also among the ulama. When you rise from the ruku', where your hand should be. Yes. Like now, Allahu Akbar. You rise, Allahu Akbar. Okay, Sami Allahu liman hamida. Sami Allahu liman hamida. Where your hand should be? Here or here? Huh? So why do you have either ones? Huh? Why? Yeah, because we need. So why we have difference in going to sujood? Because the Prophet said camel, right? And they all have differences. This one, he said, when you rise from the ruku', let every part of the body to go back to its origin. Is it a potential way of having multiple interpretations? Yes, the origin in the salah of the hand is here. But the origin of the hand outside the salah is down. So they said, no, he's referring to the salah. Some said, no, he's referring to the origin of the salah. Then you leave them alone. You choose the one that you want. Okay? So you didn't blame the one that is doing this and the one who's putting down. Okay? So now, the salah, you have your wudu, you have all the conditions of the salah. Now you start the salah by saying, Allahu Akbar. So the hands is a sunnah to raise your hands up. To raise your hands up. Allahu Akbar. You put them here. How do you put them? How do you put your hands? Don't bring me the madhabs, okay? No one brings madhab here. Because that is too technical. I didn't see any proof saying that, to be honest with you. He says to put your right upon your left hand. Doing this, putting those hands, all those things is nice. But at the end of the day, we don't have any proof. Huh? Huh? Very good, very good, very good. So now, put your hand, like if I do this and this, how do you describe me? My right is upon my left. How about if I put this? How do you describe me? The right is upon the left. How about if I put this? It's the same. I have no problem with that. Yeah, but the whole entire hand, yeah, the whole entire hand has to be has to be upon the right. So it's not half and half. The whole entire right hand has to be upon the left on the chest like this. And some will put it here underneath their belly button. I'm going to be honest. It's not. You cannot compare it with putting it here. Putting it here, it has more authentic hadith. Okay, putting it here has some hadith, but they are not compared to the putting it on your chest. Just to be on the safe side. So you say Allahu Akbar. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك تبارك اسمك وتعالى جدك ولا إله غيرك أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين. قل هو الله أحد الله الصمد لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد. الله أكبر. سبحان ربي العظيم وبحمده سبحان ربي العظيم سبحان ربي العظيم. سمع الله لمن حمده ربنا ولك الحمد حمدا كثيرا طيبا مباركا فيه. الله أكبر. سبحان ربي الأعلى وبحمده سبحان ربي الأعلى وبحمده سبحان ربي الأعلى وبحمده. الله أكبر. رب اغفر لي وارحمني واهدني وارزقني واجبرني. الله أكبر. سبحان ربي الأعلى وبحمده سبحان ربي الأعلى وبحمده So Aisha was talking about this. So now you rise from the second sujood. There is another sunnah that they call jalsa istiraha. You sit, then you go back up. So from the sujood, Allahu Akbar, you sit all the way. You go back up. That itself is a sunnah. It's a very specific sunnah that the Prophet did sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Yes. So you can also do this, and then you can go all the way back up like this. No, not the second, not the second. When you finish second sujood. Yes. So you go back. There are two ways. Allahu Akbar. This is the first sujood. You go back up. Rabbi ghfirli. You go back to the next sujood. Allahu Akbar. You have the option to go this way. Allahu Akbar. You have the option to go this way. Allahu Akbar. You have the option to go this way. Allahu Akbar. The Prophet did all three of them. Okay? So this is the first rak'ah, and the same thing applies into all the rak'ahs. Like now, you stand back up. Allahu Akbar. You put the right first, left first on your chest, and you put the right on top of it. You recite the Fatiha. Again, the first A'udhu Billahi Minash Shaitanir Rajim, you don't need to recite it again, just one time. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, you don't have to if you say it the first time. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen, Ar-Rahmanir Rahim, Maliki Yawmiddin, Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in, Ihdina as-sirata al-mustaqim, sirata alladhina an'amta alayhim, ghayril maghdubi alayhim waladdallin. Amin. You go back again. Allahu Akbar. Subhana Rabbiyal Azim wa bihamdi. Sami'a Allahu liman hamidah. Or you can put it down. Rabbana wa lakal hamd. Then you go down. Allahu Akbar. Subhana Rabbiyal A'la wa bihamdi. And then you come back again. Allahu Akbar. You go back again. Allahu Akbar. You come back again for the tahiyyah. So this tahiyyah is a fard. It's an obligation. You hold and then you put this. This one is technically narrated that the Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam used to put his finger like this one, and he hold this. So this one, then the next one folded, then this and this, they go together, and this finger is like this, not straight. Some people move it a little bit. Sometimes he moved it. Sometimes he continue moving it. Sometimes he'll just move it when he says Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah. So if you see somebody moving it, but all the time moving all the time, it's not very authentic. But saying Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah, or the time that you make a dua, moving it, is authentic narrated by the Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam. Now, Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah. Yeah, that's fine. So anything that I did not say, Salah time. So anything that is not the conditions, the pillars, the obligation, I left it. Because if you didn't do it, your salah is still valid. Like the way you move your finger, the way you're going to raise your hands, the way you sit sometimes, anything that isn't counted, it's not in the 8 conditions. It's not in the 14 pillars. It's not in the 8 obligations. If you miss it, your salah is still valid. Yes, you can just put your hands there. You don't have to point fingers. You can, yes, you can. Yes, you hold your finger. You hold your. That's it. As long as you say the tahiyyah or you sit for the tahiyyah, is good. Yes. No. What we're saying is that any movement of the finger is a sunnah. Yeah, it's good. It's good. You raise it. It's fine. That's fine. That's fine. So any other way that you use for the finger, keeping them, not keeping them, or doing them when ashadu, is okay. So now, huh? The sunnah is three. The Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam, he will move them when he reaches the tashahud. Right? When he says ashadu an la ilaha illallah. So some fuqaha, like the Hanafis, they understood that he was not raising it till he reached there. Using the same evidence. So the other counters, they said, no, 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 no. He was raising it. He just moved it at that moment. So the dispute is around the same hadith. The movement, the dispute is between the same hadith, which is allowed. Most of the dispute that happen in the salah is understanding. Okay, or the Prophet, he moved his finger when he was doing ashadu an la ilaha illallah. I have the right to understand that his hands were like this. And then when he came to the tashahud, he said ashadu an la ilaha illallah. Or I have the right to understand that his hand were like this, but when he came to tashahud, he moved them. So that's a dispute that you cannot reconcile. Yeah, that's what keeps them there, which is okay. Yes, yes, that you cannot dispute that. Like he pointed in the sunnah, if a person misses, if the person is able to move their finger or to point them in the salah and they did not, they have missed a sunnah, which will make them miss a reward of the salah that they could have gained. Yes, I have no problem with that. Yes. Any other question? Yeah, some people they go a lot. They go move a lot. Eh. Yeah, I know. All those things are khuzabalat. All those things are. It's not right to believe in those things. You don't believe in anything without a proof. Anything that people, unfortunately, you are lucky. You, as no Muslims, you are very lucky. We have a big package. We brought a lot that has no basis. Somebody just wake up in the morning and say, oh yeah, I think you should be doing this. It has no base. And then people around have no knowledge and they just accept that and they start doing it. So, but we promise that we will only give you something authentic. Inshallah. So we're going to be praying better on us. So, Aisha, anything else? Okay, how about we try to redo something like this? Then, without the event, yes. Just going to the salah. But by this time, so the first session today, you all have the notes. I am expecting to build somebody who will be given this lecture, not somebody who's just practicing. That's why I'm trying my best to make sure that you get all the details, Aisha, for everybody. I want to make sure that you are able, like if we do 2 seminars of this, you do not need me anymore. Anyone who comes, you can host your own seminar and you can watch them. If they make a mistake, tell them, nope. That it was. So if you don't know how to categorize all these things, you will not get it. Because we miss one thing that we have to bring. Is if you miss a pillar, what is way of fixing it? If you miss a wajib, do you have to bring it back or not? The most thing that we need to spend time in is salah. I can tell you many people are praying, but they are not praying. Unfortunately, I see it every single day. People praying, they never have the opportunity to sit in this kind of a gathering and learn about the salah, which is very unfortunate. They see wajadna abana ala ummah, they see their parents praying and they pray like their parents. If their parents were praying wrong, they're going to be praying wrong. You have to learn it now. Yes, yes. Uh, what's your name again? Jalisa, if I start that talk right now, it's going to take forever. So, in the salah, so we said the 14 pillars. If you miss them intentionally, your salah will be broken. That's it. It's gonna fall. So if you miss them while you are praying, you have to bring them back. And additionally, you have to make two sujood after you say assalamu alaikum, because you have added into the salah. But the 8 obligations, if you miss them unintentionally, you don't have to bring them back, because they can be replaced by the 2 sujood shahu. So if you don't know what are the obligations and what are the pillars, there is no way you can comprehend the sujood sahu. So know the 14 pillars. If I miss them by mistake, I have to bring them back. Example, you are praying and you miss a ruku' in 1 rak'ah. You miss a ruku' in 1 rak'ah. That rak'ah cannot be complete. If you are in the sujood, for example, if you miss the ruku', you go here, then you remember, you go back. You go back and make a sujood and make a ruku'. But let's say you miss a ruku', you don't remember till you move to the 2nd rak'ah. And you remember that I missed a ruku' in the 1st rak'ah. Into your mind, you have to cancel that rak'ah and consider this 2nd rak'ah as the 1st rak'ah. And at the end, you're technically praying 5. But 1 is incorrect. So what can fix that is when you make a sujood after you say assalamu alaikum. Those 2 sujood will come to the salah and remove the addition into the salah. Now, the other example of the wajib obligation. You're praying, you say Allahu Akbar. You're supposed to Subhana Rabbil Azim, but you forget till you rise and you remember, oh, I did not say Subhana Rabbil Azim. You don't have to worry. Continue your salah, pray your salah, and at the end of the salah, before you say assalamu alaikum, you make 2 sujood before assalamu alaikum. Those 2 sujood will replace the Subhana Rabbil Azim that you missed. Make sense? But it's a whole entire thing. But at least give you I'm waiting for Aisha to organize another one, very quick, which is very helpful. I want to have you all to be able to send somewhere to host a seminar in Salah. It's very important. What people will miss in the deen the most that will not benefit them is the Salah. What will make people successful the most in their deen is to be able to perform the Salah. So it's very important what we did today, inshallah. Yes, I made a lot of money today in that wedding. Jazakumullah khair. We're going to go to the masjid, inshallah ta'ala. Any other questions? Okay, this is going to go to our... No, it's going to go to our... Can I have this? Can you give this to your mother? Oh, we have a convert box that we're gonna be using, inshallah. So, thank you for coming. Jazakumullah khair. Let me let the brothers to give you space to go.